my pleasure today to be here with author Beth Hermes, and I thought it'd be appropriate to kind of talk with the author and get some feedback from her. So first, why don't you tell us about the books you've had published?
Sure. I kind of made up the genre when I started looking at what niche I wanted to fill, and I found out there are others in the genre, so it's kind of cool. It's fantasy, but not quite fantasy. It's spiritual, but not quite spiritual. So we jokingly refer to it as spiritual fantasy, and there's a growing niche in that genre. So it's about people who don't necessarily fit into a single category of belief, but definitely have belief in something bigger than themselves.
And I know you published your first book last year, correct? And your second one's getting ready to come up. What's the title?
The first one was Awake. The series is called The Light Bearers. The first one was Awake. That came out last June. This one was actually released in February by the publisher, but we're launching this Friday, the 15th of March, at my little indie bookstore that I love the people. And this one's called The Light Bearers Found. This is the second in the series.
I know a lot of the viewers of this channel are people that really enjoy to read a lot, and a lot of people like that have a dream of one day writing a book. What kind of tips do you give to those people if their goal is to write a book someday?
Right. First is write it first and foremost for themselves. Everybody starts thinking, I can write this and it's going to have an audience of thousands or millions of people, and I'm going to be the next J.K. Rowling or whatever, or it's going to be made into a movie or an Oprah Book Club pick. Those are lofty goals that can stymie the best storyteller. I think that what people need to concentrate on is telling the best story that they can tell from their point of view, one that's going to keep them riveted through the entire writing process. If they can hold their own interest, the chances are that they're going to have a good possibility of holding the interest of a reader as well. And that's the story that's going to sell. If you try and make a blockbuster, your chances of failure are much greater than if you just try and write a good story.
So if somebody would like to get your book, what's the best way for them to do that?
I recommend that they visit their local independent bookstore and ask for The Light Bearers by Black Rose Writing. The Black Rose Writing is the publisher. It is available through all the traditional booksellers. Ingram's is the most widely used book distributor, and Ingram's does carry the book. So any independent bookseller is going to be able to order it through their traditional seller. If they want to order it, it is available on e-readers as well, so they can order it on their Kindle or Nook as well. And if they want to find out more about the stories and about what's coming up, they can visit my website. It's www.thelightbearersbooks.com, and that has all the information about what's inspired me, who the characters are, upcoming thoughts about the project, and thoughts from readers about what they have figured out when they read the books.
So do you have any authors who have inspired you to write?
Definitely. I'm an avid reader. I have been since I was small. My favorite author of all time was John Steinbeck. If I had that opportunity to sit down with somebody and have dinner, living or dead, John Steinbeck would be the one, because he's just a master of telling a story. And modern day and female, I think Amy Tan is just fabulous, and she tells a story that just pulls you in and doesn't let you go.
I would like to thank Beth Hermes for joining me today. I'll put a link to all the websites she mentioned in the description box below, so be sure to check her book out. Thank you again, Beth, for joining us, and I'll see everybody on Project Nerdy next week.